Hi, this is a quick video about the poster that you can see on your screen right now. Thank you for Michael for sharing it with me this morning. I have concerns. I personally think that this will increase the stigma surrounding our disease, whether you've got an ME or a C.F.S diagnosis or are currently not diagnosed. As you can see on the poster, it says, do you live with chronic fatigue syndrome, anxiety or depression, blah, 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 apply now. And they're interested in whether running is a key element of your self-care routine. And it's for a new sports series for a major streamer. Now, I found out this morning that quite a few people have already, from our community, have already contacted this company and said, did you know that exercise is a bad thing for ME or CFS? And the company's come back and said, actually, we know people with CFS who do run, so it's not an issue. That's what this video is about. Now, I need to make it clear, I am not being negative about those people in our community who are physically able to run. Yes, they have mild, very mild ME, a minority. And I can't stress that enough. They are a minority. If I was going to guess, I'd say maybe 5% of our community who regularly go to the gym or exercise. And I mean running or something like that, not just taking a dog for a walk. And it's their choice. I am not going to chuck negativity their way. However, my problem is that this particular poster, this casting call, is stigmatising for our community because it kind of puts exercise and ME, CFS, in the same sentence. And for anyone that's saying, yeah, but they're talking about CFS, not ME, not on this poster, but they are on the application form. So just to make sure I knew what I was talking about, I didn't want to accuse them of anything that they haven't done. I did a fake application. So it clearly says in this, on the application process, we're looking for people who live with chronic fatigue syndrome / ME. So they are including ME, not just what everyone thinks chronic fatigue syndrome is. And they're recruiting for people with ME/CFS, anxiety or depression, dyspraxia or sickle cell disease, for whom running or jogging is a key part of their self-care routine. So my big concern with this is that most of the population, let alone healthcare or fitness professionals, most of the population do not know that ME is a spectrum disease. Many do not know that only 25% have mild ME, and of those, as I said 2 seconds ago, maybe 5% are regularly going to the gym or something. But the message that this poster and this casting call gives is that running is actually a good self-management technique for people with ME/CFS. That is the impression that it gives. So I'm concerned that family and friends and employers of people with ME/CFS are going to think, but they're obviously more physically capable than they think they are. And they'll, you know what I mean? They'll be expecting you to overexert. And that's the stigma. That's, they're not trying hard enough. If they just push themselves a little bit more, they'd be able to do it. So I kind of had to do a fictitious application. So this was the next bit. I agree to the terms and conditions, blah, blah, blah. And then as you work your way across the tabs at the top, it goes on to, these are the questions. Please record a short self-recorded video, no more than 5 minutes long. I'm not being funny, but most people with ME wouldn't be able to record the video, let alone take part in the TV programme. Answering the following questions so we can get to know you better. 1, what's your name and where are you from? Which disability and or medical conditions do you live with? How did you get into running? Why is running a key element of your self-care routine? What's the most amusing thing that has happened to you as a runner living with a non-visible disability? What's the most frustrating thing that has happened to you as a runner living with a non-visible disability? How could running be made more accessible to people with non-visible disabilities? This is just the bottom. It just says, apologies, but due to the number of applications we anticipate receiving, not from the ME community, you won't be, we will only contact those selected to go through to the next stage of the application process. Thank you for your interest. So now, they've concentrated on chronic fatigue syndrome on the casting call poster. And then on the application, they've put chronic fatigue syndrome /ME, which to anyone in our community means they have absolutely zero idea about the NICE guideline. They do not keep up to date with the latest updates in our community, so they literally do not know what they're talking about. So I know that some people in our community have already contacted the company with their concerns, which is why I'm not doing that, because the company has come back and said, we know people with C.F.S who do regularly run. As far as we're concerned, this is not an issue. So this is the NICE guideline. And if exercise is not an issue with people with ME or C.F.S, why is there a huge section on incorporating physical activity and exercise? And some of those words include: do not advise people with ME/CFS to undertake exercise that is not part of a programme overseen by an ME/CFS specialist team, such as telling them to go to the gym or exercise more, because this may worsen their symptoms. Now, I have to stress, may. As I've already said, the people that are already running with C.F.S or ME have very mild or mild ME, and they are a tiny minority of people. Yet this casting call may well stigmatise the whole community of 1.25 million people in the UK. So this is the section on physical activity. It's not tiny. You can read it for yourself whenever you like, just by typing in NICE and ME/CFS guideline. I'm wondering if you are physically well enough to do their 5-minute application video, please send them a video and say that you actually find it incredibly stigmatising and gaslighting to say that anyone with C.F.S and ME are physically able to exercise. And in no way should running be described as a way to self-manage your symptoms, because it's not. Those that run do not run to manage their symptoms. They do it because they like running and they are physically able to. I would be very surprised if a single one said that that's how they manage their C.F.S or their ME. Because ME/CFS is not deconditioning. It won't make you feel better in terms of your ME or your C.F.S. In fact, you'll have to manage your running to make sure that it doesn't worsen your ME or C.F.S. It's the other way round. And I think the messaging behind this is awful. So there we go. No, I'm not going to write and complain to the company, but I would ask you as an ME or C.F.S patient to get in touch with them via video as they've requested and say, I'm not applying because this is harmful rhetoric. This is actually, in my mind, worse than a research study studying people with ME/CFS. This is a mainstream, major streamer pushing the narrative that people with ME/CFS are physically able to exercise. A minority are able to exercise, and I'm sure they know the risks, and I'm sure that they keep an eye on their symptoms at the same time. But to push the narrative that this is a way to manage, to do a bit of self-care, self-manage yourself, is ridiculous. So please do flood them with your applications. They are fully expecting to be overwhelmed with applications. I'll leave it to you. Thank you.